What if the most dangerous DiMera isn't who you think? This week on Days of Our Lives, fans were left reeling as a shocking new twist emerged, one that places little Rachel Black in the eye of a growing storm. As Johnny DiMera's world crumbles, the question isn't just who shot EJ anymore, it's why is Rachel pointing the finger at her own uncle? Is she an innocent child caught in a web of adult lies? Or has Salem underestimated a rising evil genius hiding behind wide eyes and a quiet smile? Let's break it all down. The drama erupts from what first appears to be an ordinary conversation, a daughter speaking to her mother in the safety of their home. But nothing is ordinary when it comes to the DiMera family. In a chilling preview for the week of May 26 to 30, Rachel Black sits down with her mother, Kristen DiMera, in the iconic DiMera mansion and calmly recounts what she claims to have witnessed the night of EJ's shooting. With a quiet, almost calculated tone, Rachel reveals that she saw EJ DiMera and Johnny in a heated argument. But what stuns viewers most isn't the fight, it's her next claim: Johnny had a gun. No screaming, no drama, just a chilling, composed statement that sets the entire DiMera legacy on fire. This revelation isn't just a moment of family gossip, it's an earthquake in the middle of an already unstable Salem. With Johnny already on shaky ground and questions swirling about the shooting, Rachel's words act like gasoline on a growing blaze. But the true mystery lies beneath the surface. Was Rachel truly just an innocent bystander speaking up? Or is she pulling strings, orchestrating a narrative designed to protect herself, or someone else? That's the question echoing across Salem. Is this the truth, or the beginning of a beautifully twisted lie? To truly understand the magnitude of Rachel's confession, we need to take a step back and look at what changed behind the scenes. The character of Rachel Black was recently recast. Finley Rose Slater, who had portrayed Rachel with youthful sass and charm, stepped aside, and Alice Halsey stepped into the role. The transition didn't go unnoticed. While some fans were initially skeptical, it quickly became clear that Alice was bringing a very different energy to the character, and it wasn't just about age or looks. Halsey's Rachel is quieter, more measured. Her expressions linger longer. Her silence carries weight. There's a subtle edge to her portrayal that didn't exist before, an edge that feels dangerous in the hands of someone so young. She doesn't just say her lines, she calibrates them. There's an eerie sense that everything Rachel says now has a double meaning, and that's exactly why her confession is so disturbing. Even more suspicious? The recast happened mere days after EJ was shot. That timing is impossible to ignore. Was it purely coincidental? Or did the showrunners have something far more sinister in mind? A new version of Rachel, introduced specifically to play a more complex, possibly darker role? If so, they've succeeded. Because right now, Rachel isn't just a background character. She's the pivot point in one of the most shocking stories Salem has seen in years. Since the moment EJ DiMera was gunned down, speculation has run rampant. The early clues, some scattered flashbacks, partial memories, and foggy timelines, all pointed to one man, Johnny DiMera. For weeks, it seemed like the pieces were aligning. A late-night argument, a mysterious firearm, Johnny's erratic behavior. It was enough to make even the most loyal fans raise an eyebrow. But as any longtime Days of Our Lives viewer knows, things are rarely what they seem. The timeline, when examined closely, has noticeable holes. Where was Rachel during the argument? Why did no one else hear the gunshot? And why is the only new witness emerging now, weeks later, with such a conveniently damning story? Rachel's accusation feels almost rehearsed. As if it's been planted. As if someone, maybe even Rachel herself, has waited for the right moment to drop this narrative into her mother's lap. And in doing so, she doesn't just implicate Johnny, she shields herself entirely from suspicion. Is this classic misdirection? A clever tactic to throw fans, characters, and investigators off the real scent? Or has Rachel constructed a dangerous lie that could destroy her uncle's life, all to protect a far deeper secret? The answer may lie not in what she said, but why she said it now. This is where the waters become dangerously deep. Why would a child, even one raised in the turbulent DiMera household, intentionally frame her uncle? On the surface, one could argue that Rachel's motive was noble. Some fans speculate that perhaps she believed EJ was about to hurt Johnny, or worse. If Rachel thought she was stepping in to prevent a tragedy, then everything she's done could be interpreted as an act of misguided love. Children have been known to act irrationally in moments of fear, especially when it comes to protecting someone they care about. But that's only one side of the coin. Flip it, and the image becomes far more disturbing. What if Rachel wasn't reacting to fear, but strategizing around it? What if her story isn't an emotional outburst, but a carefully calculated statement designed to shift suspicion, gain power, and assert control? The notion that Rachel is manipulating those around her, crafting a false narrative to suit her own agenda, is unsettling, but increasingly plausible. Her timing, her wording, her calm delivery, all of it feels too polished to be spontaneous. And if this isn't about defending Johnny, then maybe it's not about family at all. Maybe it's about domination. Rachel could be proving, intentionally, that she's no longer the innocent child Salem once knew. She could be stepping into her own power, one lie at a time. The legacy of the DiMera family is stained with betrayal, seduction, and schemes that span generations. And within that legacy, Kristen DiMera stands out as one of the most cunning players Salem has ever seen. A master manipulator, Kristen has deceived lovers, faked deaths, swapped babies, and blackmailed half the town, all without blinking. So the idea that her daughter might have absorbed some of those traits? Not so far-fetched. Rachel hasn't grown up with bedtime stories and birthday parties. She's grown up with secrets, power plays, and emotional warfare. In Kristen's world, trust is a liability, and truth is flexible. That's the environment Rachel was molded in, and we may now be seeing the result of that upbringing. Some fans have even dubbed Rachel, Kristen DiMera 2.0, and not without reason. She carries herself with a quiet confidence. She speaks with a precision that's rare for her age. And most importantly, she seems to understand how people work, and how to twist their emotions to her advantage. If this is truly the beginning of Rachel stepping into her mother's shoes, Salem better prepare for a storm. Because Kristen may have been dangerous. But Rachel? She might be unstoppable. Now let's strip the emotions out and look at the strategy. If Rachel's story is fabricated, intentionally or not, what does Kristen stand to gain? The answer: everything. Kristen has always thrived on leverage. And her daughter's testimony, however shaky, provides the perfect weapon. By presenting Rachel's account as fact, Kristen can now control the narrative around EJ's shooting. Suddenly, she holds power over both of her brothers. She can use Rachel's words to paint Johnny as unstable, reckless, even violent. And EJ? He's vulnerable, physically and politically. That vulnerability gives Kristen the upper hand. With this ammunition, she could blackmail EJ into stepping down from DiMera Enterprises, relinquishing shares, or backing her own position within the family. She could shield herself from past crimes or manipulate legal outcomes. The options are endless, because truth isn't what matters. Perception is. And what's most chilling? Kristen may believe she's the one pulling the strings, but is she? There's an unsettling possibility looming over this plot. That Kristen isn't the puppet master, but the puppet. What if Rachel planted the story not to help her mother, but to manipulate her? What if this entire confession was designed to test how far Kristen would go to weaponize her own daughter's voice? Because if Rachel can control Kristen, then she controls everything. In the game of Salem power dynamics, that makes her the most dangerous DiMera of all. Behind all of this is Alice Halsey's standout performance. There's a quiet intensity in how Rachel delivers her lines. A deliberate pacing. A stillness that makes every word feel like it matters. It's not the wide-eyed innocence days fans are used to. It's something more unsettling. Something that hints at intelligence far beyond her years. And in Salem, intelligence can be deadly. Social media has exploded with speculation. Some believe Rachel is covering for someone, perhaps her mother. Others think this is a twisted form of revenge against Johnny for a past slight. A few believe she didn't even witness the fight at all, and is simply manipulating Kristen for her own gain. Whatever the truth, one thing is clear. Rachel Black is no longer just a side character. She is the story. So what's next? If Rachel is behind the shooting, the implications are massive. We're talking about a child committing a life-altering crime. Salem's justice system would be rocked. The DiMera family would implode. And Johnny? He may never recover from this betrayal. But if she's not guilty, and this is just a misstep or manipulation, then someone else still has the gun. And the real question becomes, what's Rachel hiding? In the end, the title says it all. Is Rachel Black a genius, or a monster? A misunderstood child trying to protect the people she loves? Or a cunning player, weaponizing her innocence to rewrite the rules of Salem forever? Whatever the answer, this week's developments prove one thing: the days of underestimating Rachel are over. And if Johnny thought the gunshot was the end of his nightmare, he hasn't seen anything yet. Now it's your turn. Do you believe Rachel is the one who shot EJ? Is Johnny being framed by his own niece? And has Kristen truly lost control, or is this all part of her grand design? Drop your theories in the comments. Because on days of our lives, even children play dirty, and sometimes the most innocent face hides the darkest mind.